My mental mind steady spinning, a minigun and revolver, shooting at all these problems, focus, try and resolve them. World of creative stresses to Allah for my direction. Many days I was lost, but this breathing reflect a blessing. Lions following sheep to the slaughter, mentally caught up, this a woodbine. Pecker film really trying to stop us, filming that black murder, got us playing the part. Directors master the slave, the devils know who we are. God will turn you to that too, which you turn yourself. Made to conquer what this life bring, raising my mental health. Let me sum it up, a germ equation of the Caucasian, mathematically supreme. By nature we elevated, no vanity, he ain't vain. Situation insane, the gods of the universe now recipients of the pain. Falsifying the standard, you all a new era hats. Domestic genocide embroidery, what I see on your cap. Southern part of the map, southern draw in my rap. Striving to be a right resurrection from laying flat. Panther, my spirit animal, black inversion of Hannibal. Lecter giving you lectures and eating enemy cannibals. Pen is now the impaler, my people can hardly breathe. Truth to rescue inhaler, we pump it and give a squeeze. Vamping devils will bleed, this an eye for an eye, a tooth for a tooth. The truth to them lies, do you realize? He giving sight to the blind, you acting like Helen Keller, spitting them up for your eyes. Mixing math with the power to formulate powernomics. Dr. Anderson Silver, black power kicking and chopping. Queens is popping and dropping naked, throw you the vision. Nation rising no higher than of our woman's condition. Feminization of our kings out they throne. No godlike figure at home. Now gender switching they roles. Alphabets or a trans. No mixing lions with lambs. Council culture won't counsel the evils that need to end. Need to strive for perfection. It start with knowledge of self. Make sure you start it with love. Examination of self. We progress to analysis leading into correction. Then you find a self-improvement. Community and development. Here Elijah, it's evident. No returning the vomit. Not your dog. Got it backwards. Graduated Muhammad. Find the X in yourself, recite the actual facts. But that's only an alpha, and yet our genesis black. Omega Psi Slate, a lyrical stepper stone. King that walk among his people don't need a seat in the throne. Dystopian elements, dispensation of time. Your thoughts were Iblis is relevant, devil up in your mind. Conscious laying in bed, sleep number set to recline. Unplugging Neos and Matrix, Morpheus, Dojo the style. Tell me what do you see, reflecting upon yourself. Spirit, mental, and physical, how you treating your health. Product of my environment in this hell of a home. But all I am, my true essence, it never leave me alone. Heart of stone is where I feel, from the brain is where I kill. Kasim, Muhammad, my new alien seal the deal.
But those who believe in the message and the messenger, I mean really believe, they are imbued with a kind of spirit that no matter what persecution they receive on account of the word, they get stronger rather than weaker. They get bolder rather than more reticent. And they have the spirit of a warrior. They want to fight for the truth and fight for the establishment of a truth that would set their people free.
Indeed. Peace and blessings, everybody. Peace and blessings. I'm your brother, Juan Carlos X, at Slate Stone Music, anywhere online. If you got an internet search engine, put at Slate Stone Music, and the majority of those pages, the majority of the things that pull up that you can look at are legitimately me. Some of it that I may be tied to online and some of it not. Nowadays, you don't know. But definitely at Slate Stone Music on any search engine, you'll find me. Slate Stone Music is, I'll get into that. So anyway, I'm your brother, Juan Carlos X. I am your brother first. This is I Be In My Head, as the hashtag is stated. And this is like a personal vlog and or, I don't want to say series, but it's just, you know, me allowing those who may have been working with me for years, decades, online and offline, that know of me but don't know me. This is just to give a little more insight. You know what I'm saying? For those that follow these accounts, follow my accounts, and I want to know a little bit about your boy. So I first, again, I'm your brother, Juan Carlos X, at Slate Music anywhere online. I am a 42-year-old brother, 42 years young. I'm an 80s baby. I was born in Texas, and I'm from West Texas. That's where I'm from. My father is from the West Coast, out in LA, Los Angeles. That's where he was born and raised in South Central LA. And my mother was born in Texas, in West Texas. And she grew up the majority of her life there from a big family. My father didn't come from a big family. It was just him, a couple brothers and sisters that some he knew, some he didn't know initially. And as we go on through this different vlog or these different episodes or recordings that I'm going to do, which will be in a book, which will be in a physical book that I'm doing about myself. So these videos, just to interject real quick, will only give you a little bit of information. In the physical book, in the ebook, I'll delve a little bit deeper into who I am and some of my experiences for those who want to know or those who may be interested. But anyway, my father out on the West Coast, my mother from Texas, West Texas, and she came from a big family. My father didn't, and I'll break that down and give a little more insight on that then. But I am an only boy. I have brothers, you know what I mean? But I have two biological sisters, and they're older than me, so I'm the youngest. And I was raised in a household where I had my mother and father. I was fortunate enough and blessed to be raised with a mother and father. Excuse me. That's not to say that we're perfect or better than anybody else. I'm just sharing and letting you know that that's how I was raised. I was also raised in a Christian household. So my father was prior military. He was in the Air Force for a while. And my mother was a country girl, very smart and educated. So don't get it twisted. But she was a country girl. And so their two universes came together and produced my sisters. I have two older sisters, and then it's me. And so with that being said, my father eventually, like I said in the book, I'll go a little bit deeper, but my father did his life and came to Christianity through my mother. Of course, being in the South, a lot of black households, a lot of black people come from Christian backgrounds, which, as we know, looking at the history, how that came about, especially us over here, however you want to label us, FBA, Black Americans, whatever the terms are, we black, you know what I mean? But most of us over here in the Western side of the hemisphere came up under the church, and we know why and how some of that happened. But anyway, so my mother came from that kind of background. She introduced my father, and he came on in it, and he began to be a preacher. So I grew up, when I started my life's journey in this universe, my dad was already a preacher. So some of the stuff he did before that, which I'll experience it, I'll give in the book. I wasn't a part of that. I just knew the church side of my dad. Not saying he was perfect, because everybody got their shortcomings. We all make mistakes. So let me say here also that anything I share, I'm giving to you all because I really don't share my life. Like, to me, it's for people that surround me, and it's for people that love me and really that know me. People say they know of me and they got something to say, but they don't know me. You know what I mean? Like, those that know me, know me. Those that know. And so I just said that to say I don't really share my life out there like that. So this is a little different. Some people have called me weird. Some people call me mysterious and whatever the label is. But, you know, I'm giving you me. So anyway, my father was a preacher. I forgot where I left off on that. Raised me in a church household. And, you know, he did his other things before then, before the church. But I got the preacher's side of it, the preacher's kid. And so in that, I grew up in a church household, which I'm not going to break that down in this video. I'll get to that later. In the book and in later episodes, I'm going to break it down. My father, my mother, And all this will be in a physical book. So that was the dynamic initially, military, Christian-based type family atmosphere, from poverty, from Section 8, you know what I mean? All that. My dad was riding a bike with a lawnmower in the back of it, cutting yards. At a time, I remember our rent was like $8 a month. And for the first 3 months, my dad couldn't even pay it. That's how the condition we were in. And my uncle was managing a project or a ghetto. Him and my aunt, they were fortunate enough to be property managers or whatnot. My uncle had the $24 and he paid the rent for 3 months for us because my dad didn't have $24. So from that to later in life, I've had better, you know what I mean? Never was rich by material possessions. If we're going to use that as a comparison, we were never rich by material possessions and homes and luxury cars and whatnot, but I did get to experience nice things, nice homes and whatnot with my family and my mother and them as they came up and grinded, which I'll share later. So anyway, that was my atmosphere. Again, I'm your brother Juan Carlos X at Slate Music Online. This is I Be In My Head, and I'll be in my head, you know what I mean? And that's Allah, the creator of the universe, gave me that a while back. EYE, the letter B, the letter N, MYHEAD. And I actually have an image that comes with that also that I want to relay and make an icon and do whatever with it. But right now we starting here. You have to start in life where you are. I've learned that. We live in this microwave society where you want everything right now. Like, give it to me right now. Like, I got the idea, I got the brand. Give me the clothing, give me the manufacturer, give me the plug, give me the customers, all my followers, everybody buy the shirts tomorrow and I'm rich. Like, it don't happen that way. So it's a process. You have to process things and grow into things, learn and experience, suffer through things in life in order to grow. Anything that's not growing is stagnant. And if it's stagnant, you dying or you dead. If there's no growth in it, what are you doing? You're just existing to not exist anymore, in my opinion. But this is not for me to be preaching or anything. Again, I'm just letting y'all know a little bit about me and how I am and who I am through these mediums, through these channels online. If you want to plug in with me more, I'll be giving some exclusive material. I'll be giving those that text Slate to 559-791-8468 or call me, message me, DM. Again, Slate, the word Slate to 559-791-8468. You'll be on the book list first, the audio book, the ebook, the physical book, autographed physical books. I'm definitely going to have some merch, not necessarily about me or my face, but the MFM, the My First Mind. Of course, we got the hoodies and whatnot with it too. And that has a meaning in itself. Anyway, back to me. I'm 42 years young. Right now I reside in Texas. I'm single. I'm a single father of 2 boys. I have a 23-year-old son who's in college, praise be to Allah. And I also have a young son who's going on 2 years old, praise be to Allah. And so that's the only biological children that I have out here, or the only children that I have out here, let me say it that way. I was not one of those, and I'm not knocking anybody that's got multiple kids or more kids than that, but that's what Allah blessed me with, and that's what I have. I've been married twice and engaged once, 2 failed marriages. I got married at 18, real young, growing up in the church. You know how that is. Sometimes they put on you, or they say you don't need to be shacking up, you don't need to be doing this, you don't need to be doing that, even though they do it. And a lot of them was doing it. We know the language. If you grew up in them environments and in church, we know that the preachers that's preaching it ain't always living it. The teachers that's teaching it ain't always living it. So fortunately, again, I had an example of a father and a mother, and I grew up in that household. My father was married to my mother for damn near 30 years. I want to say 28 years or 30 years, and I don't know the exact number. I've never been great with dates like that, but And it's, for some, it may be relevant, but in this situation, I don't think it's relevant. But it was at least 28 years they were together, married, ups and downs and whatnot. So I had that as an example while I grew up. I was out the house. I never seen my mother and father exchange physical fights. I didn't grow up in that environment of physical fights. I didn't grow up in an environment of seeing my father, run women. I didn't see that. So if it happened, I didn't see that. I did grow up in an environment where things like that possibly could have happened, as far as they could have had fights. There were a few arguments I heard from their room, but they never did that in front of us like that. They did a good job of not doing that in front of us or in front of me. I can't speak for my sisters. And then also, as far as running women, I never seen my dad do that. You know what I mean? I understand that there was different women that came around, and my mom dealt with issues with women, but I never seen him. I didn't have a Rolling Stone father. So I said that to say me getting married at 17 and 18 was what I should have been doing, as far as I knew, because I'm supposed to have a household, a man and woman get married. So the female I was with at that time, my first son's mother, we were high school sweethearts. You know what I'm saying? From 15 up until 17, 18, 3.5 years. So I was like, we might as well get married and then have a baby and so on and so forth. But I'll get into that later on in different episodes. So that's the environment I grew up in. I was out the house at 17 because I graduated early, a year early from school, high school. Praise be to Allah for that. Some consider me a nerd. I made A's and B's in school. You know what I mean? I did struggle with some subjects, but for the most part, I was an A-B student. You know what I mean? I had a few C's, and that wasn't because we got beat into it or we had to be told, our parents was on us about it, but, that's just the environment I was raised in. So I knew A's and B's were good. That's what I had to produce. So I did that, was fortunate enough to have enough credits to graduate a year early. So I skipped my junior year, graduated at 17, got married at 18, had my first son at 18, and that'll come later. So 42 years young right now, residing in Texas. I'm a single father and 2 sons. I'm unmarried. I will be married once I get into a courtship, and Allah allows that to happen. As of this moment right now, I could fall off tonight, and that'll never happen. But me putting this out there into the matrix, when that queen is revealed or Allah brings that about, then I will be on my 3rd marriage. You know what I mean? And I pray that marriage be my last one. The first 2 I learned about and learned some things, but and peace and blessings to those women. You know what I mean? This ain't that kind of recording or vlog or nothing where I'm finna bash them or point fingers or say anything bad. I was also engaged to another female, which is the mother of my youngest son. And, praise be to Allah. We had that experience and I had my son, but we didn't work out either. And peace and blessings to her. So those were the women in my life then outside of my mother. Right now, I'm me. I'm focused on my path, focused on my journey. I got some goals in place so that when I get to a point of, entertaining courtship or getting engaged in the process of courtship and courting a female to marry, not to be out here dating and we can all do that. Let me just say that real quick. I'm not here to preach or nothing, but I've been unactive sexually for a little bit. You know what I mean? I don't do none of that extra. I don't watch porn. I don't do that. You know what I mean? And that's the norm in this world right now. Like, it's crazy. It's really filth out here. Like, we in filth and like do whatever all day. Sleep with this one, sleep with that one, sleep with this one, no commitment with this one, one night stand with this one, holler at this one. Like, I don't do that. I've never done that. I've not been perfect. you know what I mean? But I don't do that, and so I'm not engaged in that. And it's a process of growing and building myself up, growing closer to the Creator in my mind and what I've been taught, and learning more of myself, and then channeling that energy, storing that energy, retention and save, and then, you know, building and giving that when it's needed. But I just said that to say some of where I'm at, you know what I mean? And, you know, people do what they want to and make jokes and make little clips and stuff about you, you know what I'm saying? But this is who I am, man. You know, like, from what you can see from this video and what you get from it is what you get from it. But though your thoughts are not my reality. And so I have to live with that. And I've learned that. Excuse me. So for anybody watching, when people talk about you, because I've been talked about good and bad, slandered, lied on, praised, saluted, both sides of it. But when people do that, you have to learn, like, people going to have their opinions. People going to say what they want to say. They're going to act like this. They're going to act like, do you, you know what I mean? And whatever they say, just learn to cancel the noise, because be true to yourself and know what it is. You know, and God knows. And that's all that matters. Those people around you that love you, that's what matters. So anyway, that's a little bit about me. I am a member in the Nation of Islam. I am an FOI, Fruit of Islam, and I'm striving. I've been in the ranks going on 3 years, and it's a process, learning, studying, growing, self-analysis, self-correction, constantly on a daily basis, and you're going to get tried. So I get tried in that, you know, how I mentioned with the female side and not having that. I want to experience. That's what I know is a family, man, husband, wife, children, home. And that's what I long for. But right now I got to get myself right so I can make sure my home is right. What I currently do anyway, moving past that, what I currently do is I work, you know what I'm saying? I lend my skill sets to a job out here, and I work a software and a tech job, you know, dealing with fiber, connections, software, IPs, networking, troubleshooting, the equipment, and behind the computer and physically out there. So praise be to Allah for that opportunity. So those that want to know, I do work a 9 to 5 now. And it's been a struggle because for 3 years in 2020, I was working a 9 to 5, and I quit that 9 to 5. I was a head cook of a restaurant. You know what I mean? I went from a dishwasher to the head cook, maybe like in a year, you know what I mean? Because that was not hard to me. I'm not belittling it, but that's not hard, you know, multitasking, focus, paying attention to details. And those are some of the qualities I've been blessed with. I don't know it all. I'm not the smartest. I have a lot to learn. I have a lot to, you know, grow into, but I was able to do that. So I was a head cook of a restaurant. I did that in 2020. I'm not going to go back on the other jobs that I did. I've been a mail handler at the post office where they jerked me there, dealing with the racists in Lubbock, Texas. You know what I mean? That's the environment. You look on the founder of Thomas Saltus Lubbock and his background and that mentality that permeates there in West Texas. So racism is like nature there. You know what I mean? It's like natural. So I experienced that at the post office. So I didn't get to finish there. That wasn't in my path. I worked some tech jobs, customer service, did some college. Went to college for video production technology and finished, graduated there. So that's where I got into film, you know what I mean, and video production and whatnot. That part of networking with radio. So at Slate Stone Music, I'm going to do a whole video on this too. So going back to, I'm 42 years young now, and this is just the intro video. At Slate Stone, or at Slate Stone Music, Slate Stone is my artist name, my hip hop artist name, excuse me. Slate Stone is my artist name. At Slate Stone Music Anywhere online are the accounts that I created, which now people make duplicate accounts. So I can't say every account that says at Slate Stone Music now is mine, because people make doubles and clones and bots all day. But I did that originally back then and jumped online in 2009. Having the name Carlos, I guess let me jump into that first, then I'm going to move to Slate Stone. So I gave a little bit about what I currently do as far as working a job, 9 to 5, my current situation, single father, out in Texas doing my thing, growing, learning, and connecting. That's where I am now. So the name Juan Carlos X. Yes, Juan Carlos is my real name. Tomas is my first name. That's T''OMAS Juan Carlos. So it's Tomas Juan Carlos is my real name, my given name by birth. My dad's name is Thomas. He's a junior, and his dad is Thomas. So I didn't get the videos to bring it up here and show a little bit more about what I'm about to get into. But my dad was in the military. He was in the Air Force, and he was stationed in Madrid, Spain, over there with the Spaniards at the time, before I was born. And he knew he had a son on the way. My mother was pregnant. And at the time, the culture, the environment, the energy that he was in made him in tune to the culture. You know what I mean? And it gave him a certain vibration. As we know, shout out to Sister Sajda, you know what I mean? And she mentioned to me some ideas to help grow my business and expand. But, she had sparked the thought in my head about my father being in tune to that culture and how it really ties back to us. Now, when we say that culture, I say ties back to us, is who civilized the Spaniards, who civilized them people over there. And then it goes back to the Moors. So we know a little bit of the Moors and what they did in civilizing those people over there and influencing all the culture over there. You can view different resources online. Definitely watch Head and Colors. I know it touches on there. And it has some good information on the Moors. And it's all out there. You just have to do the research for yourself. But anyway, my father's name, Thomas Sawyer, he was impressed by the vibe and imparted on by the energy and the vibration of the culture, that he wanted to name me, his son, his first and only son, after the King of Spain, which at that time was Juan Carlos. And so my dad also wanted his name on there, but his name was Thomas. So he didn't want to make me Thomas Juan Carlos. So what he did was, and like Brother Nuri said, black folks are always doing something, giving us Spanish names, and we ain't even Spanish, so on and so forth, which was funny and interesting. But anyway, my dad put his name on there, and so it's Tomas Juan Carlos. So when you hear Juan Carlos X, or me going by Juan Carlos X now, that's my real name, Juan Carlos. Tomas Juan Carlos. It's just I'm not going to go by those three. I go by Juan Carlos for right now until I get my name given to me, and it's changed fully. But right now it's Juan Carlos X. So that's where Juan Carlos X comes from. If those that don't know and want to know where is this Juan Carlos X coming from, he in the nation now. I've been following the brother for years, and it was Slate Stone. Now it's Juan Carlos. Well, that's because I'm going by my government. What's on, what's on my social, Juan Carlos, which is my middle name. So it's Juan Carlos X. So that's where Juan Carlos comes from. Again, I'll touch more on the history of my father, my mother, and my life in later episodes, and also in the book. Now, Slate Stone is my hip-hop artist name. It didn't start out as Slate Stone. It started out as Los. I got into music through the church. At age 11 or 12, I started playing the organ and the keyboard and the piano at church. And so through playing instruments and playing the organ and the keyboard and having rhythm and hearing music, that led me to making beats. I could play the drums too, but I didn't want to be a drummer because it seemed like everybody played the drums. Excuse me. It seemed like everybody played the drums. And so playing keys and whatnot in the church, playing the organ, tapped me into the music, but then it grew me into being a producer. So I went and bought me a keyboard, a Korg N264 was my first keyboard. I had a Planet Fat Emu sound rack, sound module with different sounds, and I started making beats. And then from making beats, that transitioned into, you know what I'm saying? I was making beats real quick, and I'm gonna get into this in further videos. I was making beats, and then I joined the Air Force, and I bought a Korg Triton when they first dropped. I bought a Korg Triton, went and got it, cashed out, felt good back then because this wasn't no FL software, no plugins. We was playing musicians. And then so I linked up with one of my brothers up there. He had some equipment. He went and dropped out and got his Korg Triton. And so we had a studio and whatnot. I'll get into that later. But we start making beats. Well, then FL, Fruity Loops, the program dropped. And it seemed like everybody was making beats now. Everybody wanted to be the next whoever. And that's cool. I get it. Like, that's what I was trying to do when I was playing the keys. So when everybody dropped and started buying the FL program, downloading and whatnot, I was like, man, I don't want to be a producer like that no more. Let me pick up the pen. So when I picked up the pen, I was going by Los, L-O-S, Carlos. So I was going by Los. Well, being from West Texas, it's a lot of Hispanics out there, if you want to call it Mexicans, Hispanics, and it's a lot of Carloses. So I can't be going by Los, and I'm an MC out here, and they're going to be like, Los, the Hispanic dude, the Mexican dude did it. No, I don't. And, you know, Houston, Dallas, like, down here is different for black and brown. I don't know about other states, but black and brown down here, I'm not saying they all get along, but, you know what I'm saying, for the most part in Texas, where I was at, you know, we got along, and, you know, that was that, especially in the rap game or hip hop. So I wanted to have a name when I was going by Los, and I did one project, Full Blown Click, Think It's a Game. Salute to my brothers on that project. I'll get into that later. We did that project. I went by Los, but after that, I didn't do any more projects going by Los. I was like, you know, I got to come up with a different name. So in Texas, most of the rappers that I knew of had 2-syllable names. Bun B, Scarface, Paul Wall, Slim Thug, Lil Flip, Pimp C, you know what I mean? All of them. Just like by Mike Jones. They all had the 2-syllable names. And so I wanted to have the same bounce when they said my name, like, you know, but I was an MC, and as an MC and an artist, I wanted to make sure I was saying something, because I didn't want to have elementary raps or elementary rhymes or rhymes that anybody could say that was just about anything. So I was perfecting my craft, and I studied the pen, and I wanted my pen game tight. So people would tell me, I had a few people tell me I would spit hard. My delivery was hard like rocks. Like, man, you spitting them heat rocks, man. You spitting it, da-da-da. So I was just like, okay, I got a hard delivery, you know, da-da-da. And then I came up with Slate. Slate is a form of rock, you know what I mean? And it's a different kind of rock. And I don't know the exact the definition of it, but I was like, Slate Stone. That go right there. I'm gonna be Slate Stone. Ain't no Slate Stones in the rap game. Ain't no Slate Stones, because I didn't want to have a name that somebody else was close to anyway. So that's how Slate Stone came about. And this is like 04, probably 04, 05 when Slate Stone came about. So that's where you get Slate Stone, and did all my hip hop with there. Juan Carlos X. Juan Carlos is my real name, Tomas Juan Carlos. Anyway, that's what this vlog, this stream is about. It's about me being in my head, giving people a little bit more of me who can tap in and want to know just what it is that I think about sometimes. You know, like I said, I'm not giving you everything. Like, I'm not, who does that? Some people do, you know what I mean? They get on here and they spill their whole life. I'm not about to do that. So if you're looking for that, this ain't what you want to watch. If you're watching this just to take some stuff and run around and do whatever you're going to do with it that's negative or unproductive, well, do that. But it's not going to benefit you in the end because that's not the energy we resonate. But this blog is about me being in my head and sharing with you all my first mind. The book is about my first mind, what comes to mind first, my first thoughts. You know what I mean? And that has a double meaning, the MFM, my first mind. And some of my people, most of my people that know, you know what I mean, with the MFM and the sun, moon, and stars. But it is my first mind. What was the first mind of this universe? What was the first mind that was ever created that created this whole universe? That was the first mind. But this is my first mind. So that's what this blog is about. My current thoughts on what's going on in the world, as I mentioned earlier. And this a lot going on. Like, we can't know about everything going on everywhere. But there's some things we know about going on here in the U.S. You know, I don't make videos about certain situations, especially when it's about us being killed or mistreated or anything like that, or this actor did this and then go make a video about it. And I personally don't do it because, you know, that's not my lane. I do be having thoughts sometimes about it, but this ain't taken away from anybody that does it. But it's almost like gossip to me. Oh, this is what such and such did. Then you jump on your camera and you say, this is what I think about such and such, such. This was such and such. I mean, I get it. You know what I mean? I watch some of those videos too that those people do. But that's just not something I do. You know what I mean? Because that's how I view it. Like, I got to have an opinion and make a video about everything going on right now. And I don't. But the current state of hip hop right now, you know, it is what it is. You know what I mean? Basically, you hear the sound, you hear the content, you know the money that's behind it, you know the agenda that's behind it. You see the visuals of it all right now. You see those that are put on platforms and positions with the music, and you hear it, and those that know will be like, how is that the #1 record? How is this? How is that? Well, that's not coincidence. You know what I mean? It's by design. So those are some of my thoughts on that. The real know what it is. And that's our job, to stick to the real and continue to push truth and knowledge. I'm not saying your music got to be all truth and knowledge, but you know what I mean? In a world that's so, on a worldview, especially in the United States, it's so filled with filth, man, going on right now on our TVs, on our telephones, on our timelines. It don't matter if you don't even follow those people. You can go to the search bar and you're going to see naked women. You're going to see fighting blood, especially our people. You're going to see it, and you don't ask suggested videos. And it's all programming. It's all programming. It's all by design. Those algorithms, those search bars, what you search, what you like, what you look up, different phones and people you're around, what's on their phones and devices emanating, all going to a collective machine, feeding it information. It's all by design, you know what I mean? And so if you're not aware of those things, this is real. It's not no BS. It's not no conspiracy. You know what I mean? I mean, it is a conspiracy, but it's not fake. This is factual information. They got patents on the colors and the light emanating from your cell phone because it does certain things to your brain and makes your brain react a certain way. They have patents on these things. So it's real. So I don't, you know what I mean, run and get caught up into that. My current state, my mind on the current state of the world is it's in filth. It's in its fall, as we're taught. It's in its fall. Like, it's at a point where Babylon, if you know a little bit about Babylon, and it's housed full of that right now, it's overflowing. So, you know what I mean? It's bad right now. That's my mind on the current state of things. I think that it's part of the process. I think that it's by design also, and that God is in it, regardless of what we may feel or what some may feel and comment. That if God is in it, then why is this happening? Like, you know what I mean? That's on the science level. You have to work through those elements and those phases to weed things out. You got to go through it so you know not to cross it again. That's why you have to go through this process so that it can be made manifest and brought out, so that when it's exposed and you know that it's there now, you won't cross that again. You got to get it on your checklist. So that's some of that without going into that path on my current thoughts. I appreciate you for tapping in. Like I said, this is not scripted in a sense. I'm looking over here at the points I wanted to make, you know what I mean? But it's no script. There's no format to this. If you rock with me, I appreciate you 1,000. I'm your brother, you know what I mean? I don't, you know, it's some things I do, some things I don't do. Some people rock with me, some people don't. Have I made mistakes? Yes, I have made mistakes. Who hasn't? You know what I mean? But I can't live in that. I have to be focused on my goals. When you fall, you get up. Dust yourself off. Take them wounds, you know what I mean? And take that, clean yourself off, and keep forward. And you can't just lay in the mud. You know, have I hurt people with my words or emotionally and stuff? I have. You know what I'm saying? I have. And it's not by choice. I'm not boasting or bragging on that at all. You know what I mean? But it's the process of life. You know what I mean? That's what we have to go through. And I pray that Allah bring healing, guidance, atonement, all those things to make us all whole, including myself first, and those that I may have hurt. You know what I mean? But this is who I am. This is going to be a little bit about what I do and what I am. Definitely plug in with me. If you'll follow any of my timelines, and you can check the artifacts, you can go back. Just keep going. Go back as far as it lets you go back. Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, MySpace, Google, Pinterest. I'm not on Snapchat any longer. I haven't been on Snapchat for years. I'm not on TikTok. I just didn't jump on that. I'm on Threads now, but go back on any of that. You know what I mean? Go back to as far back as you can and search at Slate Music and see from 09. About 09, we was online pushing. 08, 09, I started to push. And then I'll get into that further. But go back and you'll see that some of the things that have been shared and the stances and thoughts on the atmosphere we live in and the world we live in and where we are. Some of my thoughts on the violence in our people. I'm all about my people. You know what I'm saying? I'm about the resurrection of our minds, creating awareness and reaching equity. You know what I mean? For my people. I care. And that's what it is. It was instilled in me. I was born with this. You know what I mean? The God in me. You can take it or let it alone. So that's what I'm about, and I have been online. I ain't never been on no gimmick type stuff to do stuff for views or things of that nature. That's just not me. I love hip-hop music, real hip-hop. I definitely like the different genres of it, and I'll get into that when I go more into my music. That song I was playing initially that I'm going to play closing it out is my latest release online. I pulled a lot of my music offline because I'm going to do something different with it. But I appreciate you for tapping in with me. If you want to rock further with me, let me know in the comments or text or call me. That number is legitimately mine. You can leave a voicemail. You know, if it's on some dumb shit, is what I was going to say. If it's on that, then, fortunately we got block buttons, remove, spam. Like, I don't got time for that energy. Like, why are you wasting your time? Don't do it. I'm not going to entertain it. None of us should. But if you want to build and connect, because there is going to come a time where they're going to strip accounts that share certain information and look and do certain things such as mine. They're going to remove them and ban them completely. So my space in the matrix, that's for the most part mine,
is theplugroom.com, themjewels.com, THEM jewels.com. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad Jewels.com is what the THEM stands for. Themjewels.com, theplugroom.com, NDS.com, NDSplug.com. Find me there. Definitely find me there. My number is 559-791-8468. Text the word Slate to that number and we'll stay connected. I'm going to lock in, ask you your name and whatnot. Lock in, see what you want to do. I definitely still have the Plug Room platform, which is a community development platform. I'll be sharing more on that, which is about plugging your business, plugging your brand. Community development is building people and linking people with people. That's taught to me by the Honorable Mr. Louis Farrakhan, what community development is. And I've been blessed and fortunate enough to be in that aspect of community development for damn near 2 decades without knowing and having that verbiage or that wording. We've been doing it. I've been doing it. Definitely through the music and with the businesses now, especially businesses of our people. Small businesses, Black businesses, the Black Muslim Business Network. Shout out to MOE Today. Hashtag that and connect with some of those business owners and creatives and that website and lock in there. Definitely connect. Let's learn, connect, and grow. Network distribution, I'll get into that. It's a unique form of community development which produces results physically, digitally, on and offline. I'm a network distribution specialist involved in community development. You know what I mean? And that's real. You can hashtag that, network distribution specialist. Use any of our hashtags to find other sources to see what we've been connected to. That's from us, not from other people. Our hashtags are created by us. They may use it, but it's ours. Keep it 1,000 was a term that I originated. The creator gave me it and it originated in West Texas. But I'll get into that later. But the 1,000 Network, theplugroom.com, network distribution specialist. Check them out on whatever platform you're on. I appreciate you all listening to me. Again, text the word Slate to 559-791-8468. theplugroom.com. Let's build, let's grow. I am your brother. This is my record, AQM, which stands for Akil Kazim Muhammad. If I'm able to choose the name, which I am, I definitely believe Allah gave it to me, but I'm not just going to put it on myself yet. Akil Kazim Muhammad will be my name. You know what I mean? It is my name. It's not my official name, but that's what AQM stands for. And that record you can get right now online and stream it. But if you want the actual record or if you want any of my other music, because I've been doing hip hop since 2000. So I appreciate you again for tapping in with me. And you can find this record right now. My mental mind steady spinning, a minigun and revolver, shooting at all these problems, focus, try and resolve them. World of creative stresses to Allah for my direction. Many days I was lost, but this breathing reflect a blessing. Lions following sheep to the slaughter, mentally caught up, this a woodbine. Pecker film really trying to stop us, filming that black murder, got us playing the part. Directors master the slave, the devils know who we are. God will turn you to that too, which you turn yourself. Made to conquer what this life bring, raising my mental health. Let me sum it up, a germ equation of the Caucasian, mathematically supreme. By nature we elevated, no vanity, he ain't vain. Situation insane, the gods of the universe now recipients of the pain. Falsifying the standard, you all a new era hats, domestic genocide embroidery. What I see on your cap, southern part of the map, southern draw in my rap. Striving to be a right resurrection from laying flat. Panther, my spirit animal, black inversion of Hannibal. Left to giving you lectures and eating enemy cannibals. Pen is now the impaler, my people can hardly breathe. Truth to rescue inhaler, we pump it and give a squeeze. Vamping devils will bleed, this an eye for an eye, a tooth for a tooth. the truth to them lies. Do you realize he giving sight to the blind? You acting like Helen Keller, spitting them up for your eyes. Mixing math with the power to formulate powernomics. Dr. Anderson Silver, black power kicking and chopping. Queens is popping and dropping naked. Throw you the vision. Nation rising no higher than of our woman's condition. Feminization of our kings out they throne. No God like figure at home. Now gender switching they roles. Alphabets or a trans. No mixing lions with lambs. Council culture won't counsel the evils that need to end. Need to strive for perfection. It start with knowledge of self. Make sure you start it with love. Examination of self. We progress to analysis leading into correction. Then you find a self-improvement. Community and development. Here Elijah, it's evident. No returning to vomit. Not your dog, got it backwards. Graduated Muhammad. Find the X in yourself, recite the actual facts. But that's only an alpha, and yet our Genesis black. Omega Psi Slate, a lyrical stepper stone. King that walk among his people don't need a seat in the throne. Dystopian elements, dispensation of time. Your thoughts were Iblis is relevant, devil up in your mind. Conscious laying in bed, sleep number set to recline. Unplugging Neos and Matrix, Morpheus, Dojo the style. Tell me what do you see, reflecting upon yourself. Spirit, mental, and physical, how you treating your health. Product of my environment in this hell of a home. But all I am, my true essence, it never leave me alone. Heart of stone is where I feel, from the brain is where I kill. Qasim Muhammad, my new alien seal the deal.
But those who believe in the message and the messenger, I mean really believe, they are imbued with a kind of spirit that no matter what persecution they receive on account of the word, they get stronger rather than weaker. They get bolder rather than more reticent. And they have the spirit of a warrior. They want to fight for the truth and fight for the establishment of a truth that would set their people free.